Yes, people, welcome back to Weekly Surgery, episode 3. Hashtag Friday night. Forget the soap night. Before we get into it, people, let's hit the intro. Oh, there's a bit of an issue there. Yes, people, welcome back. Apologies for the technical issues. This is what happens when you do live stream. It can happen. You reset your router, you reset your broadband, you do all the checks, and then that happens. But people, welcome aboard. Kesh is running a bit late. He might not be able to make it, so apologies because my King Kesh might not be around. But I've got my two other brothers here to smash out the show, smash it out the ballpark. But people, smash the like button if you haven't already. If you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Smash it, kick it, poke it, do what you have to do. Yeah, Weekly Surgery, episode 3, people. A lot to talk about. So, further ado, I'm gonna introduce my brother, Guna Souls. Welcome back, my bro. How you been?
Yeah, man, all good, all good. It's a weird, isn't it, playing tomorrow again? But yeah, nah, just looking forward to it. But yeah, so it's been all good. Cold week this week in Manchester.
It is. Don't worry, we're getting you down soon, bruv. Watford's coming soon, man. It's coming soon, bro. So no, glad to get you down. Good to see you again, man. It's been a while. And of course, I've got the Prince of YouTube at the bottom of the screen. Bruv, welcome back again for Weekly Surgery. The Albert JTV practice is open for tonight. So welcome back, brother.
Get the scalpels out, people. Let's operate.
For real, yeah. Big up. Let me go to the chat quickly. Yeah, of course. Big up JC's in the chat already. And Normski, thank you. I'm OpenReach engineer for to fix your dial-up. You know what, Normski, I might DM you, because sometimes this StreamYard thing, might have to look into another aspect of doing live stream. There's plenty out there. Just need to do your research in it. But yeah, people, like I said, smash that like button, please, and follow my esteemed guest on their social media, as you can see in the box on their screen, and with myself, of course, the host, Albert JTV. This will go out on my Spotify and Anchor for the audio listeners. But yeah, guys, let's all get into it. Probably heavily Arsenal themed this Weekly Surgery, with no surprise again. Yeah, so Arsenal 2, Crystal Palace 2, people. When I had you guys on last time, we obviously did like a prediction for Arsenal's 4 games at the time, which was Brighton, Palace, Villa tomorrow, and Leicester the following week. I actually went for 2 draws for the first 2 games. Unfortunately, I was right. But yeah, so I was going to kick off with you, man. Simple questions, really, but you can incorporate it however you want, and obviously what you saw with your own 2 eyes. But why are Arsenal so poor in possession? And to add even further on top of that, why was Patrick Vieira? And let's make no bones about it. Yes, he's a club legend, but his coaching career has nothing to write home about. Why was he able to outsmart Mikel Arteta, in your opinion?
The thing is, I don't think Vieira outsmarted Arteta. I think Arteta overthought his own tactics. And I know that could correlate with each other and go, yeah, Vieira actually did. I get it. But in my opinion, I just think he overthought it. And I think with Arteta, when he misses, I'm not saying for me a key player, but for him a key player in terms of Granit Xhaka at the moment, he seems to just forget his system. He seems to overcomplicate it and go, you know what, I'm going to try and pull a masterclass off rather than just to go, actually.
So it's 2 seconds. Forget who? No, you got.
No. What I mean is, like, I'm not talking about me saying Xhaka needs to come back into this. But I'm talking about him. Yeah.
That's right.
No, I'm just talking about him as a manager. Obviously, relies on Xhaka being in his system. And it seems like even when Partey gets injured, or if Tierney gets injured, he seems to just complicate it in his head when in actual facts, he's got someone sitting on the bench who can do that similar role. Now, we're not talking quality here. We're not talking about we've got world beaters. But for me, I've been advocating even before Brighton, I don't want to see Partey and Lokonga together. Nor do I want to see the stupidness, this foolishness of single pivots. When did I didn't know we had a DM in this team. Like, if we did, all our problems are solved. But guess what? We don't have one. And the thing is, then he played that. And the thing is, when people said, yeah, but it worked against Burnley. Since when did Burnley have a midfield? Do you know what I mean? Like, when did Burnley have a midfield? The thing is, obviously, they threatened us or whatever. But the point is, you can do that against the Burnley because they're not going to press you in the midfield. They do it in the wider areas. Whereas with Crystal Palace, we know what Vieira's trying to do anyways. And it's not coming off every single game, but it's trying to press games. It's trying to be a high-pressing, hard-working team. And the thing is, when you then go for a single pivot without someone like an Ndidi, a Basuma, a Neves, or someone who can really take that role on their own and kind of do the job, it's never going to work. And that's why I keep saying to people, it's not about quality, but for me, all he needed to do was bring El Neni into the situation. And I do believe the structure comes back in and control naturally force, because what that then does, it gives Partey the role to progress the ball and nothing else. He then, yes, he needs to come back and help in defense like any other player needs to do that, but it doesn't make him the responsibility of him being the sole defender. And what that then does is it alleviates Partey to go a bit forward without thinking, crap, if I mess up here, then there's going to be problems in the back. But then it also means he can then play those riskier passes and advance us forward. But what's happening is we're playing those passes without someone in behind if that ball gets intercepted and they're right back in it. Like, for example, with both the goals, both the people who had to play deeper in the midfield, I'm talking, that's what happened. As soon as they made a mistake, there was nothing covering them. And that's where El Neni would have come in. El Neni would have been in that situation. If, for example, Lokonga situation, then you would have had El Neni in behind. At least you would have still had a player protecting that front, through, like that back three or back four, depending on the transitional play. And that's, for me, why we're not controlling games. And the problem is when you then bring Lokonga into the situation, he's another person who thinks like Partey, forward first. Yes, it's good. Trust me, I like the fact that we want to attack, but sometimes you need to pass it backwards. It's necessary to control games. It's necessary to hold on to possession. And sometimes you need a risk-adverse player. I'm not saying that's perfect for every situation, but sometimes that's what I like. I personally like it. And then when you go for Partey, Odegaard and ESR, unfortunately, they're not at a stage where they can play in a midfield pivot. They can't play in that sort of centre mid role. Yes, they can play eights, for example, but that we don't have the system. We don't have the players to play 2 eights, and that's kind of why the issue's coming in. And they're too wide, and they're not close enough. We've vacated positions in the midfield where Conor Gallagher, Milivojevic, however you say his name, and they absolutely loved that because they had time and space to do what they wanted to do. And that's simply how it's done. And for me, that's why I've been advocating until we don't bring, and we needed to bring someone in. But for me, Lokonga or Partey, and unfortunately, you can pick between the two. But for me, it's El Neni over Maitland-Niles in that midfield until we get someone. It's just the unfortunate situation we're in.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't play Maitland-Niles in midfield. I would never even entertain that option. He probably might do during the season, but no, I don't think he has the attributes to play there personally. But so RJ, coming to you, bro. I'll take on board what Souls is saying in terms of how Arsenal supposedly set up on a Monday. But even you, I said right before I bring you in that the Tottenham game was not a reflection of where Arsenal are this season. The other games are, because you see how poorly we've been playing. I mean, even I must admit, watching that Palace game, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Because you got to remember, and I said this before, no disrespect to the likes of Brighton and Palace. Yes, they are good footballing sides, but they're not going to be challenging for top four at the end of the season. If we can't control games at home in a London derby against Crystal Palace, what is going on when he sends this team out to execute tactics? So, yeah, sort of from your point of view, what did you make of that first half?
It just looked looked a little bit. I'm gonna be honest. It was kind of cowardly, if that's a word. We got the goal, all right, and then we just didn't do anything after that. It just looked like we were just kind of sitting there, and you could kind of see Crystal Palace just getting involved, and okay, we were kind of breaking up that final pass from them. But again, we were very lucky as they, and again, like Saul says, and I've come to that point where I agree with him in terms of the midfield with Partey and Lokonga. I can't see that again. They don't have the defensive capabilities to be there and clean up. You know what I'm saying? Like a Torreira or a Kante or something. So
look at the goal. Look at the goal.
If anything, we exposed ourselves. Sorry?
So look at the goal. I mean, the Partey one. You heard me say that. I said, listen, I didn't play as a midfield player, but in that situation, and I'm not saying it, being wise after the event, but you in that situation when you receive your ball back to goal, you play the way you're facing.
Mm-hmm.
Go on, bro. Sorry, mate.
What was even more crazy in that situation, if you look at where Tomiyasu was, he was surrounded by 3 players. There was nothing he could do. The only thing he could have done, and like you said, in hindsight, now looking at it, you think, he could have just hoofed it up the pitch. But he kind of just thought, no, I need to. He saw there. Even when you act like you see Partey, Smith Rowe's not far from him. But I felt Partey was kind of too slow. This is what we get at Granit Xhaka for, and his mobility. Partey didn't really do himself any justice. And then Gabriel, for me, he was just studied. And it was easy for Benteke to kind of just get in his position and that. And then we go back to the goal, and then we go back to the second goal. Like Lokonga, mistakes. Yeah. Ben White again, just backing up. It looked like Rob Holding all over again, if I'm honest.
No. I'll tell you why I can't accept that one, because if you play in defense in actual football, you had to cover. You had to cover Elise's run as well as what Edouard was doing. He had no support. He had to cover both angles. If he committed, the ball goes straight through to Elise, and Elise scores. So you had to cover both bases. If you really look at it, you had 2 runs to cover, not 1.
I'll bring you in. Come in again, man.
Right in front of him. But he was kind of right. He was, if he just kind of backed up, and it looked like he was giving more space. And Edouard kind of had a little bit more time to decide, okay, am I going to go to this corner or whatever? And he just smashed it. And Ramsey had no chance. And if anything, in my opinion, it kind of like.
Do you think he should have? Do you think he should have got to? You're breaking up a little bit. I don't know if you can still hear me, but so do you think he should have got to a point where I get it? Because at some point you've got to engage. I mean, he did it a little bit too late.
The thing is, though, if he engaged, it goes to Elise.
Yeah, but and so in that position, you have to do that because he's in the 18-yard box. Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. That's why I can't fault Ben White for that goal. I can't fault him for that because I'm not blaming. Yeah, I'm not blaming. Because the thing is, if you look at it, ESR was the one who should have covered Elise's run.
Oh, let me finish. I wasn't blaming Ben White. What I'm saying is, he's got to get. You're at a point where you have to engage and make the challenge as defender. You have to. He's in the 18-yard.
Yeah, he would have if ESR covered Elise's run. You then could commit because then there's no options. But he couldn't commit because if he committed, and let's say he doesn't get the ball, it goes through to Elise and Elise scores. So that's the reason you're in 2 minds of what you have.
But you have you do have, but you can.
That's what I'm saying. That's what the thing is. I can't like the blame that Ben White's gotten for that goal. I can't agree with because there's 2 runs he's covering. When you're covering 2 runs, it is difficult in that situation. What you do, ESR should have shown more urgency to cover Elise's run.
No, I hear that. I hear that. Yeah, I hear that. I'm not blaming Ben White. I've never blamed Ben White at all for that goal. In fact, if anything, I'm surprised by some of the potential criticism that could Aaron Ramsdale saved it. I don't really sign up for that, to be honest with you. But yeah, I just think in that position, maybe I'll have to watch the goal another 10,000 times. But sorry, go on, come in, Ryan. Sorry, bro.
No, I get what you're saying with the covering player. Like a lot of players were at fault. I just felt in that moment of time,
Yeah,
I get what you're saying with the covering play. He should have covered, but I just felt at that moment in time, just seeing Ben White kind of like back up a bit, and it kind of like it was kind of getting a little bit closer. I kind of thought, well, come on, man, kind of put him under pressure and make him miss his shot or something. You know what I mean?
I get it. You're like, yeah, I understand the conundrum.
And I'm looking at that.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
Yeah, I understand it.
But I'm not going to solely blame him. But I look at it and think to myself, you could have done a little bit better there. But if I got to watch it again, then I got to watch it again. But that's how I felt watching that.
Yeah.
Did it like
Bruv,
three times.
RJ, you wasn't the only one.
It's all opinions, isn't it? You know what I mean?
You wasn't the only one that said that. The same thing with what Souls was saying. It's you know, it's not the rock. It's not. I was surprised. I didn't once sort of look at. But yeah, Ben White could have possibly engaged. Yes, he's got 2 decisions to make, but you know, you're the centre back in that situation. So you go where you don't. So yeah, I guess that's anything I'd probably say to that. But yeah, in terms of the performance, sort of coming back to Souls. I mean, like I said, RJ made the point. We got the goal. One thing I've been critical of is we don't seem to score many goals within the first 15, 20 minutes. We did better than that. We scored inside 8 minutes. And then, like RJ kind of said, if you want to put it kind of quite simply in layman's terms, I didn't really see anything from Arsenal in the first half. I forgot Ødegaard was playing. Pepe had a brightish start. But I'm looking at the team, usually even when your team doesn't play well, you can look at certain players and go, you know what? I could probably look at until Lacazette come on. There's no kind of other Arsenal player I looked at and thought, you know what? Even though we didn't play too well, you kind of stood out. I don't know what's happened to someone mentioned the question earlier. I think it was Normski in terms of with regards to Partey and Tierney. Sorry, but more so Tierney. I want to focus on him. What have you made of his performances kind of this season, really? Not just the Palace game, so.
Thomas Partey's or?
No, Kieran Tierney's, man. Definitely Kieran Tierney, yeah.
I think with Partey and Tierney, both kind of, I've got similar reasons to what, I don't think they've regressed. Partey needs a partner, and simply he plays better. That was the same at Atletico. He was never a lone midfielder. So if people thought that, I'll just question, did you watch La Liga or did you watch specifically Atletico? He always had a partner with him. So until that doesn't come in, that's never going to work. With Kieran Tierney, I think it's the fact of if he bumps up and down all game, he's getting injured. And I think Arteta's just telling him, right, I don't need you to do that as much as you're doing it. And I just need you to calm it down and just phase the games a bit. Because if he does that consistent, we've seen it. Like after about 6 to 8 games, he gets injured again. And if you want him to be a longevity player, if you wanted to keep him around for a lot longer, you're going to tell him to just do your role. And when you have the opportunity to attack. Don't just attack for the sake of it. And I think that's what's happening. And then when you then bring, for me, I just think Saka being on the left-hand side as well hinders what Tierney can do. Whereas when Saka's on the right-hand side, it's a lot better for him because Saka on the left likes to go wide and play in the Tierney role. And that's kind of where...
So let me come in quick. I'm going to bring you back in. I want to ask you, because I asked Ross the other day. I'm not even sure you can even answer the question, because I can't answer it. But when he plays Saka and Pepe in the same side, right? Forget whether the opposition is, and he just plays them two in the same side. Why do you think he plays Pepe on the right?
I have no idea.
It's crazy.
I don't have any ideas, because I've always said it. Saka is our best right winger, and if you want the best out of him, that's where you play him. The thing with Pepe is when he plays on the left-hand side, you cut the options for him. So he's limited to what he can do, which is why he excels on the left. When he's got more to think about in terms of whether he's going to cut in or out, that's when he's really poor, because he's not a player that can think for, well, not think for himself, but he needs to be thought for. And if he doesn't think about what he's doing, that's why the shot and that went to Aubameyang was brilliant, because he didn't think about it. He just shot it and just hoped for the best. And that's when he's good. And Saka, for me, as an ice, and the other thing is Pepe needs an overlapping wing back. And that's why when he's on the left-hand side with Kieran Tierney, you see the best of him, because he seems to have an option in behind if he needs it, and he doesn't lose the ball as much, and he doesn't need to take his man on. And Tierney, the other thing with Tierney is he drags players with him, opening up space for your inside forward. Whereas with Saka doesn't give a shit. He'll beat a man and then beat a man again and make the option. And he's become a lot better because he's now using his right foot as much as he's using his left foot. So that's why he's been a lot more effective for me on the right-hand side, even for England, than he has for Pepe being on that side. And then obviously Tomiyasu isn't really an attacking fullback, right back, whatever you want to say. And Saka can play as an isolated winger and use that space for himself, and he likes that. He's more of a free winger than a Pepe. Pepe needs someone to help him and support him, whereas Saka doesn't need it as much. And I think that's what it comes down to, really.
No, well said. Arj, I'm going to bring you in. Some of this, I was shocked when I was watching that game yesterday when they said that Arsenal scored the least amount of goals in the second half in the Premier League. They scored 2. That's including the Lacazette goal to rescue the point. In the league, only worse than us is Norwich City, and they haven't scored. We sit in 12th place. I think it's 12th, is it? Let me see.
Yeah, we are 12th.
No, we're 13th. We're 13th in the league.
13th.
Yeah. 10 points. Yeah. So 10 out of 24 points. With Tom, I want to ask you about Tomiyasu because, believe it or not, I don't know whether you guys saw it. Our fan base, it does beg a belief. I even saw kind of not criticism, but my thing is, if you're going to go down that road, right, of already looking at one of our better players actually started the season this well, and you're sort of looking, I'm not really sure. He's got his deficiencies and whatever. And I say to people, look, you find me a right back in the league that covers both facets of the game excellently. You're not going to find one. I love someone to argue me. Yeah, Wan-Bissaka defensively excellent. Going forward, ask Man United fans. You don't even have to ask Man United fans. Watch football yourself. Trent, we know he excels going forward. Speak to people about him defensively. So I would say Tomiyasu is kind of in the middle. Like, yeah, would I like to see him get forward a bit more? I like to see most of our team get forward a bit more, to be honest with you. That's not really attributed to Tomiyasu, but yeah, like I said, when you that game on Monday, right? The second half, I don't think it got any, but I actually think it got worse, if you want me to be honest with you. And I mentioned to you, like in another chat, there were some Arsenal fans, and I want to know what your opinion is, that actually thought Arsenal deserved a draw. I'll be honest with you. Listen, I'm not saying I've got expert Specsavers vision, but even I was struggling to kind of find the logical reason as to why some Arsenal fans might say that. What's your thoughts?
I think some Arsenal fans might say that because they just love the club too much. This is what, because the thing is, listen, as much as I love this club, I'll call it out when I see some fraudulence or something that I don't like. If I don't like the manager, I'm going to tell you I don't like the manager. If I'm going to say this person's crap, this person's crap. It's as simple as that. For me to seriously say Arsenal deserve the point or even a win, because
I definitely didn't hear that. I must admit, if I did hear that, I think I would have choked on my dinner.
I heard he did, but I didn't watch the post-match because I was fuming. But to be honest with you, the only thing we deserved is an L. We deserved nothing today. We were awful in that game. I don't know where the logic was where we deserved the point. Tell me in that second half where we deserved the point. Tell me after we scored we deserved the point, even 3 points, because we were absolutely second best or even third best for crying out loud. I don't know.
Right, just to add to, I want to get your thoughts. One, in bringing on Lokonga, what did you think of that at the time? And secondly, when you brought on Martinelli, I thought Lacazette, when he come on, he done well. We look more like a threat, but when he brought on Martinelli, I've got to be honest, and I might have bring you in after RJ. I don't know where he was playing. I don't know what he asked him to do when he come on. I generally don't. I maybe it was kick and rush when when you're in school and you're just trying to. But I generally don't know what he asked him to do. I'm watching him. I'm thinking, Martin Laidlaw, thinking, you know what? People were saying last season, for example, right? And this is the thing, he's had a serious injury. I'm like, okay, but then why is he sitting on the bench in certain games? Yeah, but he needs to get back into the team. But I'm thinking, but we're not scoring loads and loads of goals. So to me, they're not doing enough up front for him to not be in the side. We're into a new season now. In a few months' time, it would be Christmas. Why? What has he got to do to get a game? Come in, bro.
I don't know.
$1 million question.
Because,
yeah.
Funny enough, I'll touch on Martinelli first. I was one of those people that are saying we need to protect him because when he had that long-term injury, he came back, and then there was what was it? I can't remember what game it was. I think it was after Chelsea. I think it might have been Newcastle, and he got injured in a warm-up. And I was like, oh God, no, we can't. And we know Martinelli, he comes with a lot of intensity and he likes to press people. And I kind of said to myself, well, I don't know, we kind of need to be careful with him. Then a couple of games went by. I thought, no, hold on, this guy's still on the bench. You're not even giving him a go. Then I just think, you know what? I see what a lot of people are talking to me about when we always had that debate. But like you said, when he came on, I genuinely didn't know did he just throw everybody on? You saw Aubameyang, Lacazette. You had Pepe was still on the pitch, Martinelli. Yes. It was like he was just going through. He was just going all out. It's like you're playing with 4 forwards. Just get me the goal. Do you know what I mean? Thinking to myself, what the hell is this? And with the Conga, listen, like I said, I already touched on it with Sol's point. For me, who came off for Lokonga? I can't remember who came. Was it Saka? It was Saka.
Yeah, Saka came off, right? That disgraceful tackle, yeah.
Personally, I would have made 2 subs. I would have hooked off Ødegaard because he didn't do absolutely nothing in that game. So for me, if Lokonga was going to come on, fine. But Ødegaard had to come off. I would have put Martinelli on for Saka and Lokonga on for Ødegaard. That's what I would have done, personally. But I don't know. I don't know with this manager half the time. He just confuses the life out of me. We know, all of us, even people, who have different points with and everything. We all know what to bloody do at this. When it comes to him, it's like, what? Let me bring in one point. Going back to the question you asked about Tierney.
Yeah.
I actually read a quote from Patrick Vieira, and the reason why he he noticed how Tierney, he bombs up the pitch, and he is a source of creativity in terms of knocking the balls in. The way he nullified Tierney, he just basically explained that. And what annoys the hell out of the fact that there's only do that. It's like everybody's gonna catch on to that. Press Tierney, like when you see Pepe go forward, there's like 2 or 3 men on it. And Pepe just does his little bit in the corner and tries to get away from it, and then he just loses the ball. I'm telling you, this manager is making players look even more worse than they can be on their bad day. I'm telling you now. That's what I was say. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, no, thank you. Big up to you guys, man. Big up to people in the chat, lively, man. Sentiment FCs and Normski. Big up, RJ Arsenal blog, my younger brother, Little Rowan, man, my guy, man. We're gonna touch on Villa a bit later. I don't want to do it now because I want to sort of go to what I wanted to ask you guys. We're gonna sort of deviate away from Arsenal people because I'd like to mix up the weekly surgery of all the equipment in the Albert JTV practice. So, but people, before we get into that, if you don't know what to do, this is what you should do by now. There you have it, people. Smash that like button and subscribe to my people's channels because Souls and RJ have got YouTube channels. So people, don't think about it. Go and subscribe, people. But yeah, I'm going to kick off with RJ with this one, the first one. Standout individual performance from Premier League game week 8. Hashtag who caught the eye?
Boy,
It's
I
a good
hate to
choice,
say
yeah.
this because
There
I
are good
really
choices.
do not like the Football Club at all. But praises and props to Mendy from Chelsea. Wow. I
Yeah,
mean,
good shout.
damn.
Shout.
Brentford, how many times Brentford should have scored? This guy was out here like doing the most. And that's another shout out, sentiment, Salah. But I think, boy, I think he's right now. He should be near basically the best keeper in the league if he keeps it up, because he's saving Chelsea. I mean, we can even go back to the game. They should have lost by more.
Right, I'm gonna come
But
back to you. That's the
Brentford,
right. I'm gonna come back to you. Sorry. I'm gonna come back to you quickly. Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's a good. You know, it's why it's a good shout, because I like the fact that you haven't gone for an obvious one. It would have been very easy to some of the names I've got down to go for stand that. But even as a spectacle for that game was a brilliant game to watch. I don't know how Brentford didn't get a draw. I've got to be honest, man. But because they didn't get a draw because of you mentioned.
Honestly, I don't know. For me, right now, he's up there pushing Alisson and Edison as one of the best keepers in the league. If he keeps that up, boy, Chelsea are lucky right now. I tell you right now, they got a very, very good goalkeeper on their hands. If you ask me,
That's the thing. Like, when
Mendy,
goalkeepers, no, good shout, man, great shout, RJ. When goalkeepers make mistakes, it obviously stands out a bit more than any other player on the pitch. But I'll be honest, since he's come to Chelsea, so you might want to have an opinion about Mendy. I mean, I don't really remember any mistakes he's made. Even looking even slightly suspect, or he's rubbish at crosses, or his handling is awful. I don't remember a single game where any Chelsea fan said to me, you know what? Why do we buy this guy, man? This guy's making pure mistakes, or he doesn't command the box. I've heard zero. But big up RJ. But yeah, Souls, come in, man. What's your thoughts, man?
What, on Mendy? Or
Yeah. Go on, bro.
yeah, he's been phenomenal. Like, he's pretty much single-handedly got him Champions League as well. Like, there was some games where he was pulling off things as well. Yes, do you know what, though? The one thing Brentford's done is showed without Rudiger, you can beat them in the air. That's the one thing Brentford has shown pretty much the Premier League. Like, their defense, like I've always said, their defense for me is sus. Like, it's not as good as people have said, but like for me, it's like when Rudiger plays, or if Thiago Silva, like Rudiger sometimes has an off day, but then Silva steps up, or if Silva's having an off day, Rudiger tends to play good. I'm yet to see all of them play good together, but Mendy for me is. Yeah, he's been phenomenal. Like, he's been one of those players where I've never said, "Oh yeah, he's a problem," or like, I have doubts about him. I don't know yet. I'm trying to think of like something as well, which I think at first it was his distribution, but it's fine now, and I think that's always the case when you first come into a team. But I think that's a bargain buy. Like, that was genuinely
How much is it?
It was wayward as well. It was so wayward. Like,
so how much they pay for him? Do you remember?
I think it was like 20 million or something.
Yeah,
like, it was cheap. Like, it wasn't cheap, but it was cheap.
Yeah, no, look, man saving the ball. When I saw the replay from that save from Pontus Janssen, I'm thinking, how did he save that? And I saw the replay. Man got smashed in the face, man. I was like, wow. I said, yeah, no, RJ, big up, good shot. But so before I'm going to come to my one quickly. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Like I said, there were some obvious ones, but the more I see this guy play, man, I'll be surprised if this London club keep him for the next couple of years. And that's Declan Rice. I thought he was flipping excellent again. I mean, the thing with him is he's not just, you know what, he's a good midfield player, but you can stick him at a centre half if you really want to, or you know, he just breaks up play. That's all he does and just pops it off. And no, he's more than that. He showed that in the Euros, but yeah, the game against Everton, I thought he was exceptional. And he covers ground, man. He doesn't just pop it off. He gives you something else in the team. He like I said, he can gain you further yards up the pitch, and he's decent in the air. He can get you the odd goal. I'll be surprised if he's there at West Ham in the next couple of years. I'll be shocked. The likely destination, boys, United maybe. Who else? Realistic in the Premier League, if he stays in the Premier League, probably United, I'd say. You can look, I would say for probably like City, United, if you're looking at players like him, possibly Calvin Phillips, possibly those two off the top of my head, I'd say. But yeah, Declan Rice, I was impressed with him again, man. I thought he was exceptional on the weekend. So I'll come to you, bro.
Yeah, there is one Arsenal, but I don't know how much love he's going to get. But I'm not going to say him as the player, but I just want to give him a props, and that's Aubameyang. I thought that's a captain's performance. I know we didn't win, but how hard he was working in the first half.
I hear you.
Like he was working hard. He was making tackles which he shouldn't have been making. But obviously, I'm not going to. It's not him. But for me, it's Bernardo Silva. It's Bernardo Silva for me. Like, honest to God, this guy, for the last 2 game weeks, was it international? Well, the game week before international, but whatever it was, he's been flipping phenomenal. And I remember like a lot of people saying, we don't want Bernardo Silva at Arsenal. Like when the links were, I'm not saying he was.
Hold on. You said that, brother. They're mad.
There were people saying that. There were people in the fan base saying that. I'll try and find who, but like there are people saying that, and I was just like, wait a minute, like. I get. Okay, maybe he's not played the number 10 role, but he can clearly play it easily. If not, you've got ESR anyway. But anyways, I just think he's been. That's why I've said he's one of the most underrated players in the Premier League for me, because you know what Pep's like. Pep likes to rotate. He likes to play his little roulette, like going through the cycle of his team. And not everyone plays gaming unless you're Kevin De Bruyne or the goalkeeper, because they're the only 2 players I think that will never be out of his team. And he controlled that. I know it's Burnley, but I think this season, he's been a standout for me. And he doesn't get the praises because Salah's doing a madness.
Yeah. No, so that's a big shout. Big shout. Silva, you know what? I'll be honest with you, there's one game he played, right? You know, the season where City won the league by a point. They got 98 points, Liverpool got 97.
Yeah.
And that game when City played Liverpool at the Etihad, and if Liverpool were 4 points ahead, if they'd won and they'd gone 7, I think. No, they wouldn't know. They were 7 points ahead, but if they won, they'd have gone 10. But City won, I think it was, and so they was 4 behind. But that's one of the best Premier League games at the time I've seen for years. It was fantastic, and as an Arsenal fan, I was sitting there thinking,
even against Liverpool this season, he was phenomenal.
Yeah, even that game I was thinking Arsenal a million miles off that. But when you put in a performance that day off the ball. Even Souness was like, wow, I didn't know this guy. I genuinely didn't know this guy had it in his locker. He was outstanding in that game. And that game was over 2 years ago, but I remember it like it was yesterday. He was phenomenal. So Souls, big up shout. I see FC said. Listen, I don't make up the prices. I just go by what I see in terms of his performances, and he's done all right. But the prices, listen, he's English. They'll probably put out another 20 million in a couple of seasons if he does even better. You know, we'll see what happens. But no, I understand what you're saying, Cinnamon FC, man. So now, big up to you guys for that, man. So, people, we're gonna ask what we're gonna go on to now. It's a good one because I haven't really got you guys' opinion on this because obviously a lot happens in football. But I'm gonna sort of kick off with this. I'm gonna bring in Souls afterwards. A lot of talk, a lot of coverage. I've always said, as you guys have heard me probably say it before, as one set of football fans I do feel sorry for, it's the Newcastle United fans. The only thing I would say, and it is a big moment, you know, my Ash was almost there for 15 years for crying out loud. I get it. I get why they're excited. I'm not going to get too much into the human rights issue side of it because that's going to be talked about for goodness knows how long, and what the Premier League are actually going to do. Whether they're going to look into a bit further, but I heard Newcastle fans saying about they got their club back. All I would say to that is we had something similar at Arsenal. You guys remember it well. We played Fulham early October 2018. Beat them 5-1 away, and the Arsenal fans that day were singing, "We've got our Arsenal back." We haven't. We didn't then. We certainly haven't got it back now. So Newcastle fans, I get the excitement. We know a couple in our YouTube scene, you know, big up John Sinclair. But yeah, just be careful. It's exciting times. I can't tell them not to be excited because when you've had the regime they've had for almost 15 years, you're not going to sit at home and drink cups of tea. Like you're going to be excited and go mad. But yeah, that's what I say about Newcastle fans. With that, in terms of the Steve Bruce thing, what I couldn't understand, and we're not Newcastle United fans, is how on earth he was allowed to take charge of that game against Tottenham and then not surprisingly get sacked. I don't know. I don't know how that allowed that to happen. I think that's crackers. I don't really understand that. And to broaden it out even further, I'm going to get you guys' opinions about it. in terms of Steve Bruce's statement. I was like, wow. You know what? I remember Steve Bruce as a player. Fabulous centre-back, by the way. I think one season he scored 19 goals for Manchester United. Like, wow, centre-back. But, you know, over 1,000 games as a manager, very experienced. But even I was like, whoa. Like, if you look at some of the words he used in that statement, I'm like, wow. And, you know, obviously David Moyes spoke about it. Nuno Santo, Mikel Arteta was asked about it. Yeah, guys, it's a loaded question. But Souls, I'm going to come to you. Your thoughts about the takeover, Steve Bruce, and the statement.
I'm going to start off by saying I want people to stop mixing politics and football because, yes, I get the human rights violations, but in our lives day to day, there's a lot that we do indirectly that make us hypocritical because even if you look at something like a phone, everyone's got one, you know, and there's people in Africa mining for, like, you know, materials and stones and gems that go into our phones and their children dying by it. So if you really want to open up the moral talk, we can have the moral talk, but you can't have it on the internet with me. Because if you're talking on YouTube about it or Twitter or any social media, automatically, in my eyes, you're a hypocrite. Because you can't communicate without actually using something that violates human rights anyway. Child labor. I know I'm gonna look like a hypocrite. That's why I say I don't mix it. And yes, you know, the thing is, if I did, man, I ain't sleeping at night because even the bed I've made probably comes from something that I don't want to know about. Do you know what I mean? Though, like, you know, if we mix things like that, it's just we go into a rabbit hole of like, let's now. I'm gonna criticize your life and tell you every single thing that you've done wrong. And that's why I say, look, the game is gone that we knew that growing up. Even I knew growing up. I'm 22. I'm a lot younger than a lot of people. But even the game I grew up watching has changed because we didn't have, like, even when I was growing up, it changed into a money game. It wasn't quite there when I was first watching football, like in the Invincibles times. It was getting to that point where it became commercialized. And I think for me, I get why they're saying they got their club back because they feel like they could build something and become more. It's a competitive. There's that hope of competing again, but fine by me. I'm not gonna sit there and like, because I've seen the celebrations. You know, brothers sent me videos. He's in Newcastle. He studies there, so he's told me it's loud, it's proud. And look, the thing is, if we start mixing it, I just find it weird. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't want to criticize people. I get it. Like, I am against the violations, by the way. But if we're going to sit there and criticize that, then we need to look at ourselves first. We can't go blaming other people just because they do it on a larger scale, but we're doing the same thing, but we're not held responsible for what we do to allow them to do this. But I think, it's exciting times. I mean, if we're asking for takeovers, we're asking to be bought. Some people care about the moral side of it and think, okay, I'm not going to support the club, which is fair. Fine, you do what you want to do. I'm not going to criticize anyone, but I hope a lot of you are making Qatar World Cup videos then, or making any content, or getting paid. If you get paid a penny, I'm going to call you out for it, and I'm going to come heavy on it. And if you block me, I'm going to make even more content on it. Because I'm like, why are you blocking me for telling you that you're a hypocrite, fam? So I'm telling you, I'm going to call it out because I've seen people say it. This is the problem. When it benefits you, you're willing to break every violation possible. But when it comes to other people, and the other thing that's really pissed me off, why is the Premier League now banned sponsorships from countries that you're from?
I heard that.
Because let City do it. City has got Qatar and all of these sponsorships from, or Etihad, sorry, got that bit wrong. But the Etihad deals and stuff like that, as soon as they got taken over by the Etihadis, by the way, and their sort of consortium. But as soon as Newcastle had it, so it's clear the Premier League's protecting the big teams to keep them happy by bringing this enforcement in. We're freezing it temporarily until we find a long-term solution. That just goes to show me that you don't want Newcastle to get the investment they can potentially get from the connections that Saudis have. And that's the other thing. And look, I'm happy for them, but I feel really sorry for them because they are going to get done over by the Premier League. And I mean, look, I'm happy for them. For me, I think they do deserve to have a bit of hope and have a bit of a glimmer because they've had the biggest fall for a team that was winning the Premier League, had legends in their team, etc., to then just being absolute. And the thing is, it's not like even with Arsenal yet. I know we want a new one or we want ambitious owners, but even then, money is spent. Like, not by them, but the club is spending money. Like, we've had 70, 80 million pound players. Newcastle can't even comprehend 80 million pound on a few players. Forget about one player. So I think it's good. I think it's good for them, and more competition in the Premier League. That's what we love. I want to see more teams competing, and obviously I hope we compete with them. But obviously I would love it to see another competitive Premier League where Super Sundays are Super Sundays and Saturdays are actually something you look forward to.
Yeah, no, cheers, Souls. Thanks for that, man. Yeah, this has got so many layers in it. You do mention a good point, man, in terms of the hypocrisy of a lot of people, because if their club have been taken over by
it's not even if we did. It's just what you do in your day to day. Like it's
I know, but I've seen obviously some of the reaction over the recent weeks for other rival clubs. I'm like, if the shoe was on the other foot, I want to see you outside your ground, chaining yourself to the railings and doing whatever you need to be doing. That is true, Souls, because I see people very quick to, like I said, it's not so black and white, but I get why the Newcastle fans, because they've got some potential light in the tunnels. Arsenal fans, we don't have that because we have an owner that doesn't want to sell. Mike Ashley has wanted to sell. They finally got there in the end, but yeah, so I get why Arsenal fans might be a little bit not too happy. But Sergeant, let me bring you in, bro. What's your thoughts, my friend, about Steve Bruce and the statement and the sacking and the Saudi takeover? What's your thoughts, bro?
On the first hand, congratulations to Newcastle. I am a bit of a fan. As much as I want the owners to sell, I'm not bitter. Because as far as I'm concerned, and I'm not going to make this about Arsenal, but I'm just going to throw a little stone in it.
Have your own opinion, man. Yeah, of course.
We're not serious enough to make a stand. We tried, but people bottled it instead of going to watch Chelsea batter us. That's all I'm going to say on that point. But we don't know what's going to happen with Newcastle because
we don't know.
Someone made the point. I think Merson actually. So what? Jamie Redknapp, in fact, and I can't really stand Redknapp sometimes, but he made a point. What happens if Newcastle actually get relegated? Then what? What's going to happen?
Can you imagine
going forward?
Wow.
Can you imagine that? And I'm not even like, right, that'd be funny. What actually will happen if that actually happens? Then what? It's gonna look very bad.
They're only saving grace. Sorry, bro. Their only saving grace is if Souls RJ, they could have the January transfer window of a century. But that's the only saving grace. But I don't know. But Rajay, go on. Sorry, bro.
No, that's cool. You got a very good point. I mean, why didn't you go buy Haaland? No, I'm joking. But still, my thing is, it's like, no, that sounded really bad actually. But look, my thing is,
do you know who's going to be rubbing their hands? Football agents.
Oh yeah,
because they can get their teeth into it. Oh, look at Newcastle! Wow, let's get the ball ticking, man. Let's get working. Yeah, 100%.
Especially those with like up and coming youngsters.
Go on, exactly. Sorry, bro.
And then I'm glad you said that, Souls, because we've been bad giving rubbish players X amount of money or wages. Just imagine what Newcastle are going to do with certain players as well. I mean, it's going to be insane. But, you know, just to wrap up the takeover part, congratulations to them. But we'll see what will happen. You know, we'll see. Steve Bruce, on the other hand, I mean, look, I've said this to you off air, Albert. I even said it to you, Souls, yet. But for even to give Steve Bruce his last game, it just reminded me of Chelsea and Lampard all over again. Where Lampard got that, I think it was the FA Cup game. I can't remember what team. Was it Barnsley?
Yeah, and they won. Yeah.
And then won. And then what happened with a few days, Frank was gone. So for me, it was kind of a sentimental thing. And you know, we knew Brucey was going to go. And he probably had conversations, well, you know, we'll give you your 1,000th game, but other than that, see you later. You know what I mean? So you look at all the managers that are candidates. You know, Eddie Howe's been out of a job for a while. That Roma dude, that turned down
From
Tottenham.
Tucker, is it? Yeah,
I even heard Unai Emery the other day. I was like, oh,
yeah,
God,
I did hear that. Yeah,
Imagine Emery.
I did hear that. Yeah, I did hear that.
Boy, that would be scary. It'd really come back to punch us in the face. But long story short, I just feel like I feel sorry for Bruce in the way that he was getting those abuse. I remember I read one comment about about a cabbage or something. I was like, whoa,
Yeah, it was a strong word. It was a very, very strong worded statement. It's very strong.
Yeah, but all in all, look, you know what? He's got to do what he's got to do. You know, I wish him the best in his career, whatever he decides to do next. I heard retirement plans, but I don't know.
Yeah, I heard that.
You never know. But like I said, just gonna end it off. We will see what will happen with Newcastle. It's not exactly going to be Man City, even though it took Man City a few years. You know what I mean? So we'll see. It's not going to be a Chelsea. Definitely won't be a Chelsea. Like that. But we'll see. We'll see. That's all I'm going to say on that note.
No, big up to both of you, man, because it's not any. I don't listen. We're not even Newcastle fans, but it's not an easy thing to kind of to talk about, because listen, we've heard it thrashed out for the last two and a bit weeks. But like you said, RJ, you're right. Like, for the Newcastle fans, fair play to them, man. Because they've had to, you're looking at you're a Newcastle fan. You go and watch them week in, week out. They're not going to finish in the top 4. They're not going to finish in the top 6. They haven't won a domestic cup for. I'd have to check the Wikipedia books. I don't remember when. Somehow they got Rafa at some point. I still don't know how that happened, but he did a brilliant job there. But they just have had nothing to look forward to. I think Steve Bruce, was it 7 wins in 37? I mean, you can't that kind of, you're going to watch that type of football on top of that, and you're losing games on that regular basis.
And they've got arguably one of the best fan bases as well.
Yeah, why would you be optimistic when you're going to watch them at St James's Park? You wouldn't be. So fair play to him, man. What's anyone else saying? He said, you know what? Listen, there's some fans that want to say, you know what? If Newcastle got relegated, they'd be like, good. But I'm like, yeah, no, I've seen it, mate. I've seen
jealousy
it.
No, I know. I just find it funny. I just find it really funny.
Yeah, football opinion is mad, mate. But guys, we've got not long. We've got about another probably 10 minutes or so. But I'm not going to get your. I'm going to get your score prediction in a minute. But there's something I wanted to cover. You guys not know I'm going to do this, but I probably might get your opinions. You might have something to say. You might not have something to say. But I'm going to talk about this particular subject, people, myself, because I think it's quite important. It's quite relevant, to be honest. As many of you people are aware, and I need to get this right, so just bear with me, people. Yeah, Black History Month. So Black heroes. And I didn't really think about sort of talking about this. It just kind of hit me when I was doing a bit of prep for the show today earlier. And it actually hit me on Sunday as well. But as a young Black kid growing up in Southeast London, listen, there were many, many heroes for me. If I look at it even from people, look, I love Arsenal, I love football, but I love sport. I've spoken to you guys outside of YouTube life. I love my cricket, love my tennis, love my golf, I love my athletics completely. Some of my heroes, Linford, Christy growing up, Colin Jackson, Tony Jarrett. Fortunate to see Denise Lewis and Kelly Holmes from a rugby world. Martin Afia, or Martin Offia, as the Nigerians are meant to say it. Ellery Hanley, Jason Robinson. Football-wise, Ian Wright, Kevin Campbell, Paul Ince. Like, when I sort of look and I go back to my childhood, I think, you know what, we as tough as things were for us as in the BAME community growing up from our parents' generations, it's been hard, man. But we have had people who we could look up to. I've just reeled off so many names from the sporting world. It's incredible. But the main thing I sort of wanted to say is I was watching Super Sunday, and Sky Sports have got the section, I think it's Black Heroes. They've spoken to loads of footballers and talking about their heroes and idols. And I've got to be honest, it did kind of move me a little bit in terms of when they spoke to get his picture up if I can find him. I think it's gone. Is it gone? Was it gone? Yeah, and they spoke to Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and he said his hero was his dad. And I think the thing that really hit home is his dad did an amazing post. I don't know if you guys saw it. You might have seen it. I wasn't aware of it until I saw it Sunday just gone. It was an amazing post he wrote when Dominic Calvert-Lewin got his when he got his first cap for England and he scored. And I'm going to read it. Just bear with me, people. So he said, I remember him not making the England Victory Shield squad at under 16. Certain coaches and managers not rating him. Having to take a crying 6-year-old boy home from his first trial as he was too shy to play. When knocked down, he gets back up. You're not allowed to stay down around here anyway. Rejection is often life's way of directing you to the path you're supposed to be on. If you hang around the barbers long enough, eventually you will get a trim. Travis Binion, David Unsworth, Ronald Koeman, Duncan Ferguson, Carlo Ancelotti, thank you for believing in him when others didn't. The tears shed tonight are happy ones while smiling at anyone who said you'd never make it. Bambi on ice, you said. Bambi found his skates. Dominic Nathaniel Calvert-Lewin, England debut scorer and reward for your hard yards done. Tonight belongs to you. Congratulations, son. I love you and I am beyond proud. Incredible. Absolutely unbelievable. So what I'll say to my brothers and sisters out there, whether you're young, old, dream big. It's going to be tough. Anything is possible. I never thought I would see in my lifetime as a black man, United States president as a black guy. I didn't think I would ever see it, but it happened, people. But like I said, dream big and believe me when I say my message is anything is possible. So yeah, that's for me. I wanted to get off my chest. I just kind of thought about it, and I saw that post. It was brilliant from Dominic Calvert-Lewin's dad. Fantastic. But yeah, just to get you guys' thoughts quickly. And obviously, you didn't know I was going to bring that up, but yeah, anything you sort of want to add to that? Really, I'm going to come to RJ quickly first. I'm
just lost for words, man. That was what a statement.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's an amazing post. Yeah. No, well, no, he's yeah. I mean, so yeah, go on, bro.
It's very nice to hear that from, especially for a father, because in our community, let's be real, like there's not many fathers out there that have done a good job raising their children, you know what I mean? But especially to hear that, a proud father, to be behind him, son, push him and help out what, to hear that's truly amazing. And we all got to keep trying to do that when we have our own children and keep supporting them, and no matter what, because like you already said, Albert, it's tough growing up, as a kid, and being a minority and people just looking at you wrong, and it's just, trust me, man, it's tough. But props to his father, man. I don't know, I'm just too speechless right now.
No, it's all right. Yeah, let me move to Souls because I'm going a little bit. So yeah, Souls, anything you want to add to that, man?
No, you summed it up perfectly, but obviously it's similar to what you said. It's set your ceilings high, man. Break them when you can, because at the end of the day, nothing for me, anyways, is impossible. Look at the Lords that have come in. There's BAME community within the Lords community in the Lord's house now as well. There's actually some that the Queen's begging, that the MPs are begging for now, because they're that. And look, I'm not talking about just to be financially rich, but look at what Rashford did. Like, let's talk modern. Look at what Rashford's done. Legit, like the people. Or I say this. I want to try and say this carefully, but the people who kind of criticize the BAME community, he's probably helped a lot more of them out in this lockdown than anyone else has. And Raheem Sterling, for example, I'm talking about, like, obviously guys I watched growing up, and Rashford, he's a fellow Manc. I know him, like, not know him, but I know of him, like, and we've clashed, and we've obviously I've met him a few times as well. And it's such a hard topic to talk about, like, because it does, like, I know it's getting better, and I mean that kind of in the most humble way. It's getting better because people are standing up for the BAME community. Like, there was I think there was a video of like a black man on a tram or something like that, and there was a lot of other people who joined in and said, "Nah, you're in the wrong game." And there were white people. There was And this is what I say, when there's a world divided, come together, because together we're strong, divided we're weak, because that's what they need you to do. You need to be divided. And it's the dividing, like the Asian community with the black community, this, that, the other, making it like, no, you just got to stand together for one message, for one unity, for equality, and that's all it's got to be. And I'm liking the fact that even on Twitter we've seen it on, and I'm talking like from my own. I can't talk about things I'm not aware of, so obviously I'll have to do my education to see where else these. But on Twitter I see it, like as soon as there's racism, people are on it, and they're like, "No, we've got your back here," and it's beautiful to see. Like the people are standing up for it. They're no longer timid about it. You know, when it happens, for example, when I used to work in retail, there was a few incidences, whether it's to myself, whether it's for people that I knew, and I'm not even joking, security were like, no questions asked. They didn't give a shit how big a sale was or how much they were willing to spend. Out, you're banned. I never want to see you in the company again. I never want to see you in any of our stores again. It's not just this store. You're going global. You're going to get banned from every single store. Companies are now starting to realize this as well. And I think I can't name my company, but for the first time, you know, there was a black female being promoted into a directory role. I can't really name my company, obviously, on the internet. But there was a female black woman, and she obviously ran the Black History Month for the employees, like sort of videos, and obviously on our own intranets and stuff like that as well. And it was amazing to see kind of her struggles of being a mother, obviously being a single parent, raising kids, but also being in such a high regarded position in a major corporation. And I found that to be brilliant, because firstly, she broke the female ceiling, she broke the black ceiling, the BAME ceiling. And then she broke these stereotypes of being a single parent that you can't work. And I was just, it's amazing. Honestly, it is phenomenal. When you set your sights on things that are impossible, they can be possible.
No, well said. No, guys, thank you.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, incredible, man. Seriously. But big up to the guys in the chat. Thank you. Like I said, when I was watching Super Sunday, it just kind of really hit home. And I think they've got the series on Sky Documentaries, I think. So double check that it's Black Heroes, but it is on there. So Gary, I think you might be able to find it on there. But yeah, it was brilliant. It's brilliant by Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and respect to his dad. It was an amazing post. Even the guy, when he interviewed Dominic Calvert-Lewin at the time, was saying, you know what, that even really got me. It was really powerful what he said. But yeah, listen, part of my history, man. So I always make a great point about Marcus Rashford if you're talking about sort of current and modern and someone who's in the public eye for doing amazing things. So yeah, listen, big up to those people. But yeah, to finish the stream, we're gonna get you guys score predictions. This is tough because I'm going to the game tomorrow, but I've got to be honest. I'm really concerned, really concerned, because you know we're watching games of football with Arsenal, and you guys might have seen the 2-minute clip that I put out of when I was talking about the football. I don't really swear on my streams, to be honest, but you know, you're going to watch your team, or you're paying good money to go and watch them, and you're seeing absolute garbage. Like, it's just not good enough, man. And particularly with some of the players we've got in that squad, you can argue the toss whether they get top 4, top 6, whatever, top 8, whatever. It's just, what I'm seeing is just complete rubbish. So, like I said, when I touched on earlier about looking at the 4 fixtures, I said we'd get at the time 8 points out of 12. We've got 2 points already, so we've got to get the wins against Villa and Leicester. But yeah, when it comes to RJ first, like, score prediction for tomorrow, I'm concerned because Villa, I know they're coming off the back of a bruising defeat in that Midlands derby, but they got a good side, mate. They got a very good side. So what's your predictions, mate?
Funny enough, when we did our predictions, this was the game I was probably most worried about, actually. Yeah. Going back, I did say I feel like we'd actually draw this one, but I don't think we'll draw this. I'll be honest. Yeah. I think we're gonna get what is gonna happen to us and get coming. What's been happening? Hiding. I'm gonna lie. There's nothing to me about this side right now that's making me feel like we'll 2-0 or 2-1, the safe net. Nah, I think we're gonna slapped for them. And the reason why, because again, we kind of covered it earlier in the game. If we're trying to score one goal and then, sit back and tight, for real, we're in for a rude awakening. I'm telling you, Leon Bailey. I just found out before we came on the stream that he's declared fit. He's declared fit. Leon Bailey. Yeah, problems already.
He's playing Arsenal, fam. Everyone's fit.
This exactly. How many times we've heard when Mourinho teams, he's out. Yeah, all right, Jose. Cool. But anyways, forget all that. Buendia, point to prove. Martinez, more points to prove, even though it's gone now, but he loves talking about Arsenal. And over it. It's okay. Danny, Ollie Watkins, remember Watkins? I'm an Arsenal fan, grew up as that.
Yeah.
What a performance he put in when we got pumped 3-0 last season. I mean, I gotta be real. I have no confidence whatsoever. I think we're gonna get a big hiding. Let's face it, Dean Smith, he's not as stupid as Arteta. Trust me.
He's a good manager. Yeah.
Very good job. Matty Cash, Target, John McGinn.
He got a good side.
Do you want me to keep going? Got a good side. They got a good side.
They got Twan Baby on loan. Yeah. So what did you say score wise, Ryan? Sorry, mate.
3-1 to them.
Oh shit. That's the thing, like, and it's not even being negative. Like, the potential could be there. We could get embarrassed tomorrow, Souls. But coming to you, mate. You know what the thing is? You mentioned about Leon Bailey, but yeah, we can see obviously we've got Leicester soon. Patson Daka's warmed up nice, isn't he? And that fourth goal was a nice goal he scored. He took that really well. But yeah, go on, Souls. What's your thoughts, man?
If he plays El Neni, we win. If he doesn't play El Neni, we lose. That's how I have actually thought about it, because he brings the structure back. He brings the team's sort of. He needs to drop Odegaard, make a statement, and I just want him to really make a statement in this game. And I don't mean that by a scoreline. I just mean that by, okay, Odegaard's not played. Okay, played well, sorry. So drop him, bring ESR into there. I know Martinelli coming into the Crystal Palace game was 50-50 due to a knock, hence why I don't think he started because of it. But if El Neni plays, I'm going to go, I think we concede. But I think we'll beat them 2-1 because I think there'll be a bit more structure. But if El Neni doesn't play and he goes for these stupidities that he's been doing in the past 2 games, I reckon we lose.
So,
I say 2-1.
So, do you think, would you be tempted to play Tavares instead of Tierney? It's a big call, isn't it? Yeah, it's a big call.
No, because defensively, I don't think Tavares is as good as Tierney, only because it's Leon. If it was against weaker wingers, or not weaker in terms of physically weaker, but I mean like just poorer like wingers, then maybe. But their wingers are too good, and I think you just got to play Tierney just because he's a bit more experienced, and I think Tavares is too raw to play in a game like this. Even though it may work and push them back, but it could go the opposite way, and he gets exposed massively. So it's a bit of a 50-50, but yeah, I'd rather Tierney because I'll know what he can do. I just don't yet know what Tavares can do defensively. That is.
Yeah, I would. I don't think Arteta would do it. Like I would start Lacazette tomorrow. I'd start him and Aubameyang, but
they don't play well together all the time.
Yeah, I think. Could I see a scenario where you can play both of them, but not play a 4-2-3-1? You could, but I don't think he would do that. Because then you would have
the only way I think it'd work is if you play Lacazette, ESR, Aubameyang on the left and Saka on the right. It could work because then Aubameyang can overlap. Lacazette comes in deeper, and then you've got obviously Saka and them as 2 inside forwards, and Lacazette as more of a centre forward. Yeah. Then maybe it works.
I would start Lacazette tomorrow.
I wouldn't even pay Aubameyang. I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't pay Aubameyang. I'll be real. I'm not gonna lie. People are gonna hate me. I wouldn't. I'm not gonna lie. I just.
He's been on form this season. Right.
I think if
three goals in 3 games at home, though.
I'll get where you're going from.
Yeah, and we're home.
More than that. I'm sorry.
No, I get that. I get that. But Lacazette don't score.
You know what? The other day. Like I said, the team
Aubameyang did as well. That's what, yeah.
You know what? I generally would play both of them. I don't care how. You know what? I actually don't care how he gets them into the team. Just play both of them. We're not scoring enough goals. We've got the worst goal difference in the league in the top 15. Just play them. Just stop making it. Just play them.
Yeah, Saka just needs to be on the right. I don't care after that. Just put Saka on the right. That's all I want.
Yeah, I've gone for.
I
said it yesterday. Yeah, I said it yesterday with Ross. And I didn't even believe it when I was saying it. To be honest with you guys, because obviously I'm going to stick with what I kind of went with the 4 games at the time, and I said Arsenal would beat Villa. I did say 2-1. I'm not saying it with a lot of confidence, but
if I'm saying it with chess, we're beating them 2-1.
But I do.
The thing is, I can't say Arsenal losing.
Of course, I get it. But I was saying 2-1. I was saying 2-1. I was like, you know what, Albert, you're talking rubbish, man. You never believe what you're saying, man. I'm saying it in my sense. But yeah, Pats and Daka, man. We never played Villa yet, and I'm talking about Pats and Daka. But now, guys, big up to you, big up to Souls, big up to RJ for coming on, big up to the chat. Thank you for bearing with us, guys. And obviously, it got a bit emotional tonight for myself, but it means something. It's important. But yeah, people, man, it's like I say, kick that like button, give your virtual waves goodbye now, because Weekly Surgery is now closed, episode 3. Firstly, Souls, thank you for coming again, my brother. Like I said, it got a bit emotional tonight, but it had to be done. But yeah, thank you for coming on, brother. Where can the people find you?
Literally Gunnar Souls, and then I literally retweet everything that I'm doing. So just come over, obviously follow me, Gunnar Souls, and then pretty much on Thursdays, I think it's pretty much settled at 8 o'clock. We're on here talking Arsenal and how we can repair the damages in it of the tumors and the heart attacks and the cardiac arrests and that that the fan base is going through. So yeah, 100% you can find us here.
You know what, people? I'm trying to get sponsorship for Weekly Surgery from B&Q, Wix. We need to see him to prevent some serious damage, man, in the surgery, man. But Arsenal's driving, man. But yeah, so big up to you, people. Go and follow Gunnar Souls. RJ, my bro, again, thank you for coming on. Like I said, the Souls got a bit emotional, but had to be done. But thank you for coming on, bro. Where can people find you?
No problem. It's always great to be in A&E, guys, as always. But the surgery continues. Guys, if you want to check me out, content-wise, channel, Ryan Williams ASC. If you want to get RJ Wills on Twitter, you know me. I don't. Well, so yeah, there we go.
No, big up to you too. Thank you for coming on, man. Yeah, people in the chat, thank you. Lively as always, man. Great interaction. Yeah, as always. I don't expect any different, but people, like I said, kick that like button and subscribe to all my guests' channels and Twitter handles. Of course, your host, Albert JTV at AUMO57 Twitter handle. That is Weekly Surgery done. Episode 3 is over. So people, that is Albert JTV practice over and out.